All right, everybody, we're back now with sound. So I may have just done a 20-minute recording and not had my mic on the entire. Well, I had my mic on. I just didn't have voice meter on. So I may have just done a 20-minute recording and not captured any audio, which is fine. A lot of that was just like rambling and dead pauses. So I'm going to try to make it more coherent. Don't. It's not often you get a second chance at doing one of these, and here we are. So I'm back. I took a bit of a vacation for Memorial Day. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I went to the beach. I posted a little bit of the pictures on my channel. I posted another picture on like Twitter too of just like the sand things that we built, right? We had a great time. It was relaxing other than the 16 hours of driving that I did in the span of a couple days. But overall, good trip. Happy to be back. And, I arrive, I haven't really been on Dokkan much since I finished like the world tours for Piccolo Jr. and Goku. You guys know I hopped on, did some showcases for Bulma, but then, a lot of the other showcases that I wanted to do just fell through and I ran out of time before my trip and I just didn't get anything recorded. I left like kind of in a really bad mood on that Team Bardock Extreme Super Battle Road stage. I remember I was doing that like the night before I had to go out of town and I had family coming in town, and it was just like, it was a horrible night. I just wanted to go to bed. I wanted to get videos recorded. I wasn't able to, and I just gave up, and I was like, whatever. It's like, this is making me angry. You shouldn't do things that make you angry, right? You should just take a step back, be calm, and, do something else. So we got Super 17 dropping in about an hour here on Global from the time I'm recording this. This video, I'll probably put it out immediately just because I have no reason not to. I haven't posted a video in a few days, so it's not like I have a time slot or anything. Probably won't do a summoning video for them just because I plan to get one copy and get out, which is what, if you're a paying player, do whatever packs they give us and then get out. Like, if you don't get them, sorry, like, do not put stones into this banner, please. I'm going to do it just because I want to have videos to put up on the channel. But if you're just like, even if you're just like a spending player, like, buy the sales, sure. Don't spend stones on this banner, please. Like, guys, listen, Worldwide Celebration is coming up in like 3 months, which is what I think you should be saving for. I've been saying that basically honestly, since the last Worldwide Celebration, I've been saying that. But really, since the 8th anniversary units were shown and like we saw like what the 8th anniversary had to offer, I've really been going hard into like global players, save for worldwide. Please save for worldwide. Like those are going to be very valuable banners. There's like a chance that Bulma is on those carnival banners. So, like listen to me, please. Please, please, please save your stones for those banners. So anyway, what we got here is the Super 17 banner. Like, this is going to be like a should you summon. This is going to be kind of like a my thoughts on Dokkan at the moment video. We're going to start out with a should you summon, okay? No. Like, absolutely not. Let me get into this. So, Super 17 and Hellfighter, 17 and Hellfighter 17, Super 17, whatever you want to call this unit, they are not good enough to warrant summoning for on their own. My new rating system for banners is, X units out of total units, and that's like my ranking for the banners. So like the Bulma banner, I think was like a 1.5 out of 7 or something like that, right? Like maybe there was 2 units at best that you could summon for on that banner. And even though Bulma was really good, her banner was overall really bad, and you should not summon for it. Okay, so we're gonna kind of do that here. So 1 out of 7 is Super 17 worth summoning for? No. Giro and Mew are like the epitome of bad. In the last video I did without the microphone, we actually did calculate their defense. I'm not going to go through it all the way here, but basically, if you're facing a Goku, they are great. The issue right now is we do not have like any major Goku enemies in the game. The hardest Goku enemy we have in the game right now, at least on global, maybe there's like a tougher one on JP in that like equipment event, special anniversary, like fight all the anniversary units event. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you don't, go check out some coverage that people did on the JP event. I actually did play it on my JP account a little bit, but I never actually recorded it. Just because like I haven't put much effort or love into my JP account since the 6th anniversary on JP. So it's been like 3 years. So my account's like just really far behind at this point on there. I did play a little bit for the 7th anniversary, so I have some units. And I did pull both of the new 8th anniversary units on my account, but I didn't really play. So like I had some stuff. I did it didn't feel good to record it. Because like none of my characters are juiced up on that account. So I didn't. But I've played the event. But if you point being, there's an event where there are Goku enemies, so like you could use them there. Like if you're planning like I'm going all in, but I don't know, like they're only really usable on Super 17 team. If I open them up in a new tab, let's look at their leader skill real quick. Join forces and target Goku. Guys, this is not good enough to run like a team. Like this is not a team. Like let's be honest. This is not good. This is not a good enough team to run. Okay, so I'm not even gonna look at them again. So we're still 0 out of 7, 0 out of 7. I think it was like 760k defense after they super attack against a Goku with GT active, and then like 500k with no guard if they're not against a Goku. 500k defense on its own is like awful now. Like congratulations, you're taking 1.3 million from super attacks, from bosses. Like great, congrats. Pan, I don't like Pan. I actually despise Pan's design. I will do a video on her because this will be my first chance to get her rainbowed. On her initial banner, I kind of did what I'm going to do with this banner, and that's get one copy and dip. Because I just don't really care about this character, and two, I'm trying to save up some money right now. So, I can't be going crazy on these games, but also I shouldn't be because this is not a banner worth going crazy on. So, like, the only two, like, I guess I need 3 units on it, like, personally. So, I guess, like, for me, this is a 3 out of 7 banner. But for you guys, this should be a 0 out of 7. Like, don't base it on units you need. I do that because I'm a whale and I can kind of, like, just pick and choose banners based on how many units I need. Most of them are going to be 2. But for you guys, it should be, like, what am I trying to build around? Like, are there a lot of valuable units for me to get on the banner? Things like that, okay? So, right now, let me tell you, there's 0 out of 7. We're to the 3rd unit. Pan, the reason I don't like Pan is she is a slot 1 unit that can't handle slot 1. Her design is that she needs to go in slot 1. In slot 1, she gets 50% damage reduction before she attacks. The issue is that 50% damage reduction does not allow her to tank the hardest bosses in the game. And then after she super attacks, she loses it. She gets a little bit of defense from her super attack effects, but it's not enough, like, obviously, right? So she's just kind of like fish out of water who can't handle slot 1. Like, whenever I think of slot 1 units, I think of, like, Vegeta and Trunks, Orange Piccolo with his intro buff up, STR Piccolo, Android 8 next to a Kid Goku, AGL, TUR Golden Frieza, sometimes AGL LR Golden Frieza, characters like that who I can just put in slot 1 and it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, they're there. Everybody else in slot 2 who needs a super attack to get all their effects, they're in slot 2, great, whatever, God, Goku's a good one just because he has dodge and guard. Characters like that. It's like I put him in slot 1. I don't even have to think about it. I just put him there. In Tech World Tournament Goku, 50% of the time, I put him in slot 1 and I don't worry about him. Pan is not that same case. She you don't put her in slot 1 and you do worry about her. So I don't like Pan. Again, I will do videos on Pan. It'll probably be the first time I do like a major World Tour showcase with her. But don't, like, she is not worth summoning for. Like, her team, I have, like, never run her team. Most of the units on it are very undertuned. She also got a very pretty, like, I don't even know if I'd say they're mid. I'd actually just say they're bad. Trunks and Giru are actually just horrible. Like, they're like one of the worst banner units released in the last year, and people don't talk about how bad they are enough. Like, they're worse than this unit, probably. At least this unit has, like, some situations where they can be good. Trunks and Giru are just always bad. Like, no. So far we're at 0 out of 7. This unit is good. I don't think they're worth summoning for, but they are good. Like, this is the best unit on the banner, I think. Well, it's actually probably them. Like, they are probably better, but I feel like you're going to get more use out of them, which I think is important. This unit you can run on, like, Vegeta and Trunks' team, take them against Broly, and they're like an ace. Like, you take them into any fight on Vegeta and Trunks' team, you can bring AGL Gohan, and now he can transform sooner. And you get a Ghost Usher. And you can block Ki Blast super attacks, which, like, a lot of people think the 8th anniversary Sin Shinron is the hardest fight in the game. Well, they can nullify his super attacks in the first 2 phases. They're type effective in the 2nd phase. And they can Ghost Usher in the 3rd phase, so you can use them as a floater. And whenever they're on turn, you just, Ghost Usher if you have to. and you get to float them, and then you get like another 3 turns where you don't have to worry about them, which you should be able to wrap up that fight in that amount of time. So, like, they're very, very good. So like this is like a half. This is like a half. It's like maybe if you give like this unit a half, this unit a half, you combine that, and that's like, one. We're at like 1 of the 7 if you combine both of these units. This guy's aged out. You're not gonna really get any use out of him unless you still need to beat like the GT bosses mission of the GT Legendary Goku event. But I don't know that there's many people out there that need to be doing that at the moment. And if you do, there are definitely better options other than this character. I mean, this guy is like fringe red zone if you're running the Android team, but are you running the Android team? Probably not. Um, it's because this guy's the main leader, and I'm telling you not to summon for him. Right? Like, this guy doesn't really work well on Cell's team just because it's like Cell wants to be around Cell units. You don't really want to bring other androids unless you just need filler options. Like, it's just like bad design with the android. Like, you have the androids and then you have the cells, and they don't work well together. And I'm telling you not to summon for this guy who's like the new android lead. But like the old android lead, like if you do summon on this banner and you get this guy instead, and you have the old android lead, you have Cell. Well, this guy doesn't really work with Cell. So it's like, you guys see the issues here. This guy is not really good anymore. He's holding out for an EZA. He's going to be later in the pipeline as far as EZAs go. So it's like, I guess he has a 50% chance to like dodge Broly now, who's not a very hard hitting red zone boss, but I still would not bring him in there. This guy was like fringe red zone whenever he released, just because there were no other options, especially on like the LR Super Saiyan 4's team, and there still really aren't many options for that team. But like the only reason people were using this guy is because there just weren't other options, right? Like I can't tell you to summon for this guy. Like, no, like this guy's not worth it. Like, honestly, he's gonna be on another banner. Like, we're gonna get, I don't know, like for the I don't know, like next year for Saiyan Day, I don't know, we're gonna get like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? And he'll be on that banner, and like maybe you can get him then. Like, I don't know. This unit, don't summon for this unit. I don't think I've ever used this unit. Like, maybe for like a youth Super Battle Road Run, maybe whenever that first came out, maybe I used them, but I've gotten like literally no use out of this character other than going out of my way to use this character. This is not a character worth summoning for. So again, you look at this banner, you take a look back at it, and like this is probably the most valuable unit on it. Other than that, you have like no units on here worth summoning for. So it's like, why would you summon for this whenever you have like Worldwide coming up in a few months? That's just going to be infinitely better. You're going to have like multiple Dokkan Fest exclusive LRs. You're going to have Carnival LRs. You're probably going to have the return of Tech Carnival Goku in the coin shop. Maybe STR Bulma's on the banner. It's going to be crazy, right? We don't know what those banners are going to look like, but historically, the worldwide banners have always been like the best banners every year. Like if you go back and look at it, like the Full Power Frieza banner was insane. Last year, what was it? The STR Cooler banner was cracked, if I remember right, right? It's just like that's just how those banners always work, is they end up being the best unit or best banners during the year. Like even better than anniversary banners are really only good if you're a new player, honestly. Like if you look at it, a lot of those characters are repeats. Like I'm going into it looking at the 8th anniversary banners, and I'm like, I already had, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick just while we're talking. Okay, so this year might actually be an exception for me, but just in general, let's look at this. Okay, so this is the new unit, right? Oh no, actually it's not. It's not it's a minor exception. So this is the new unit, right? So obviously I'll need them. Again, this is the new banner unit. I'll need them. Like those two don't count. But let's look at like the other units on the banner. We'll start at the bottom. This unit is like super old. Like what? 2 years old now? 3? 3 years old now? Like no. Like don't need this unit. Same thing with this unit. Super old now. Do not need them. This unit, super old now, don't need them. Super old, don't need them. At this point, I mean, I rainbowed them on their initial banners. Like, maybe some other people need them, but they've been back. I guess this will be their second return on Global, because they returned on the December banner, and now this is when they're returning again. So I guess they haven't been back in a while, but, I mean, listen, I already have them rainbowed. It's like, I need 1 copy of Cooler, and I think I need 3 copies of Gamma 1. Like, of the returning units on the banner, these are the only 2 I need. Like And I'm sure like several other players are in the same spot. Maybe not the exact same. Some of you might need like, I don't know, you need more copies of the gods, or like, I don't know, you're a new player, so you've never pulled like this guy. But if you're a long term player like me, who's played like every anniversary since like these units came out, you probably already, I know a lot of you, listen, this guy is like a cursed unit. Like, I don't know what it is. You guys know if you've summoned on a banner with this guy, you pulled this guy like 11 times, or somebody's out there, you've gotten shafted and you've never pulled this guy. But listen, some of you know this guy is cursed. Like, I don't know what it is, but this guy is on a banner and you pull 11 of him. Like, don't ever show me this character ever again, please. I love this guy, but like, please. Well, like whenever, like the character itself, I'm a big fan, but oh, you guys know what I mean. So, like, I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, cool. It's a new anniversary banner. I need 4 units. Great. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, yay. It's a 4 out of 10. 40% good. Then we go look at the other one. I think this unit is probably better anyway. But again, yeah, I need the 2 new units. I need this one. I need this one. And then the rest of these I've had rainbowed for years. Like, it's the exact same thing. So, and the only reason I don't have like the gammas rainbowed is just because I was like, tough time, like whenever that came out. And then I got like supremely shafted on this unit. I think it took me like 3 or 4,000 stones to get 1 copy. And I was like, I'm not summoning anymore after that. So it's like you look at these banners and like, it's like, oh, Dokkan Festelar, Dokkan Festelar, Dokkan Festelar, Dokkan Festelar, Dokkan Festelar, Dokkan Festelar. Oh, people go crazy, right? But whenever you like take a step back and you're just like, okay, old unit, old unit, old unit. Like, technically they'll only be a year old whenever this like unit comes back, but I mean, like, are people still running this unit? I haven't used this unit in months. They don't have like any relevant teams. I guess I could do a video on them because they can counter Broly now. Yay. Yay. I haven't used this guy since like this guy was kind of mid on release. People don't want to admit it, but like listen, this guy does not get defense fast enough, and it was that way on release. People like highly overrated this guy whenever he first came out. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but you did. And this unit sucks. So it's like you look at this. Honestly, let's take a step back. Let's ignore that this guy is like God after his EZA. And this is like the best unit in the game, maybe. Like, him, Piccolo Jr., or not Piccolo Jr., him, Orange Piccolo, and Bulma are like competing for that top slot. It's probably still Orange Piccolo just because of like what he can do with his giant form. But this unit is very good. So we have like the top unit in the game, like top 5 unit in the game, right? Sucks. I'm good, but I'm not a big fan. Just because, like I said, I don't like offensive unit. Sucks. Pretty aged out, not really running them, not on any relevant teams. Sucks. Well, I mean, like, listen, if you're using it, it's because you're using Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Sucks. Okay, so, people say someone, like, save for this anniversary banner, and, like, what are you saving for? This unit's probably going to return, and this unit's probably going to return on the Worldwide Celebration banner, like, the next month. Like, what are you saving for? This unit might, too. Like, I mean, we don't know for sure, but come on. What are you saving for? Like, Gamma 2? Yay. I mean, Gamma 2 is good, like, but only if you get Gamma 1. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, getting off track here. That's going to be the end of part 1. This is going to be a long video. This will probably be the only video I put up until I actually pull and get 17, like, leveled up and ready to go for his world tour. Again, probably not going to do a summoning video for that just because, listen, we'll see if I even stay up for another 30 minutes to get this recorded. But I did a poll over here on my channel. It's funny. I only got 8 votes on this. I had it up all day. I got 2 comments. And, I appreciate that. If we take a step back here, I can show this. It's fine. I got 32 votes on this. Turles, right? People really liked this poll. And then I actually asked for, like, interaction. And then, where are you guys at? This is your chance. You can be in a video. It's fun. No big deal. But I really do like to get thoughts from, like, other people in these videos and just kind of make sure that I'm kind of in line with, like, what people are thinking. And then, based on the poll, it seems like I'm not. I definitely think there are some improvements Dokkan needs to make. Specifically, they just need to think about what they're doing. Maybe they can see, like, the grand plan. Like, that's always the issue, right? Is that they know more than we know. So like they can see the grand plan. They know that, oh, we're releasing a super crazy Goku event for worldwide celebration. So in 2 months, we're going to talk about Turles, by the way, just like the game in general. But let's shift to Turles real quick. Turles like needs a Goku enemy basically, right, to be good, like a Goku family, whatever. So they know, oh, we're releasing the Son family Red Zone for worldwide celebration in like 3 months, So let's go ahead and release Turles now, give him all these buffs, make sure he's in a good spot. Let's release Giro and Mew, who right now the players, they'll have them. They'll have a few months to like pull dupes of them if they're summoning on our banners. Um, Things like that, right? They're like thinking, "Ooh, yeah, we can see the grand plan. We're gonna give them time to like get these characters, get them built up, and then whenever we release this crazy event, they're gonna be like, oh man, so this is what they were planning, right? And they're gonna be really happy. But like right now, we're looking at it, and most of the player base is just like, what is happening? You know, we go back but I do think it's deeper than that. So let's kind of like start at the beginning. Let's look at the beginning of the timeline. Just by my quick list of things that that stand out to me as fumbles. And we start out as like the part 2 celebration of the worldwide. Now, historically, part 2 celebrations in Dokkan have never really brought about like crazy hype units. A lot of the times people think that it's like, "Oh, is Android 16, 17, 18 the best unit in the game? Actually, are they better than Cell and Gohan?" Like, no, they're not. But, sometimes people like those like clickbaity titles like, "Oh, they're crazy. Oh, Rose are they better than the Blue Fusions?" Like, actually, no. Kale and Caulifla were actually just better. Sorry. um Things like that, right? Like, we there's always that like level of hype, like, "Oh, Kaioken Goku, maybe he's better." Like that. There's always that question mark, right? But none of it, like, usually most of it is never like serious. It's actually like, okay, yeah, the part 1 units are just clearly better, and then the part 2 units are like fun for a week, and then they have like no teams or they fall off immediately. So that's always been the case. But we held hope because the part 2 of Worldwide was the first time they ever split up the Dokkan Fest. They had Dokkan Fest in part 1, Dokkan Fest in part 2, Carnival in part 1, Carnival in part 2. So it's kind of like, oh, they're spreading out the good units. So now we might have good units in both parts. And there was a lot of hype going into that part 2 celebration. Um, so like if you weren't around during the time, some people were upset, right, about the paid. I'm using air quotes, pay to win. Pride of the Wicked Bloodline and Super Fighter Saiyan, whatever the event was. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's the event that came out with the worldwide celebration. It's like rather difficult if you're not using the boost characters, which most of the boost characters are pretty easily attainable, and you didn't really need them to compete. They definitely made it easier, but they weren't like necessary. um but anyway, like that was like the biggest like point of contention that made people think, and like a lot of people were still really mad about Carnival LRs at the time because some leakers were like, "Oh, you're gonna love this, this is like people will love this." And anytime you tell someone like, "Hey, you're gonna like this," it actually makes them hate it, right? Whether they are going to like it or not, it makes them hate it. So like there was a little bit of contention there, but overall, like the energy going into the part 2 of the worldwide celebration was like super high. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, baby, we're going into the part 2 celebration. It's gonna be crazy." Um, we got like the metal cooler wrap. There was just so much hype going to that. We saw the animations. Everyone was like, "Oh, bro, the sound effects whenever metal cooler like grabs them and throws them into the rock. Oh, it's so meaty. Oh, the OST. Oh, everyone's going nuts, right? Like over metal cooler and Goku and Vegeta. Everyone's reading their details. They're going, "Wow, they're so crazy," and I'm sitting there going, I don't know, guys. And lo and behold, I was right. I wasn't on camera back then. Maybe I made tweets about it. I don't know. But Goku and Vegeta, I saw their details and I went, I don't know. I don't know. I started doing calcs and I went, I don't know. Because it's like their defense isn't that high. And they lose that damage reduction really quick. And it's really hard to take hits in this game sometimes. And lo and behold, it turns out you can't ever transform with that unit. Which they need to become like a good unit. Like after they lose their intro buff or like whatever it is, I guess it's not really an intro. Excuse me, but it's just like a buff that they get for a few turns, right, from the start of turn. As soon as they lose that, it gets really, really spooky for that unit. So, I was kind of aware of that. And then I was also doing like Metal Cooler, and I was like, I don't know about this guy either. He's kind of just like AGL Metal Cooler, but with a revive and just like slightly better defense because like he gets it on super attack. Like that's really like the only differentiating factor, and it's not really enough defense to tank. And people are like, "Oh, it's fine. You don't really want to tank. You just want to die with them." And it's like, well, uh, a lot of the times I think he's gonna just barely survive, and like somebody else is gonna die because for some reason they made it to where he has to. I hate like revive units that have like weirdo restrictions where it's like, oh, this unit has to no, get that out of here. Like I hate that. It's like this specific unit has to die. Like no, that is out of your control. You do not unless you're gonna give those units a scouter like future Gohan where you can go, oh, the super attack is here. I know where to put them. Don't do that, Dokkan, please. Like that's just bad unit design. But anyway, lo and behold, here we are, almost a year out from the worldwide celebration, and those flaws are just in full effect. We haven't even really had a big step up in content, but we did have Sin, who just kind of helps expose characters that are, like I don't want to say fringe red zone, but like characters that can do okay in red zone because you're able to hide them around other better units. You can't hide them around Sin because he does huge slapping AoEs in his third phase. Like you can't hide from those. A lot of the times you can hide behind other characters in other events because we don't really have any other crazy AoE bosses, but those normals are the great equalizer of the game that say, okay, this fight's not really much harder. If you're bringing good units in here, you're going to be fine. But if you're bringing some of these units that need to hide, guess what? There is no hiding. You are exposed. And some of those units just get really clapped up by that Sin. And, that's why people think it's the hardest fight because it's just like, you can't hide. It's not really that it's harder. It's that you can't hide. Maybe that makes it harder. I guess like that is an increase in difficulty. But it's not like it's not like the red zone is harder, or it's not harder in the same way that red zone is harder than like the God event. Like clearly red zone's harder than the God event, but it's like a huge step up in content, right? Sin is not a huge step up. He's just like the same, but he treats everyone equally as opposed to like, Broly, he can bully you a little bit in slots like, like 1 and 3 or like 1 and 2 maybe if he double supers, but overall, most characters are fine after they super attack in like slot 2 or 3, so you're never really worried about it. Whereas Sin is like, all right, here's 3 600k normals or whatever, and it's like what? It's actually like, hang on, if I do like 600k times 1.15. He's hitting super class units for almost 700k damage, right? So it's like super class units need 700k defense basically, or some mitigation to that to tank normals. That Goku and Vegeta don't have that. So where was I going with this? Anyway, what I'm getting at is just that like those part 2 units should have been like on the level of the part 1, and for some reason they just weren't. Like that's kind of like the first like decision that's like, okay, Dokkan, why did you do that? Sure, they're cool, they look cool, but like, was there any need to make them just like significantly worse than part 1? Like, they could have at least been on par. You changed this whole format, you gave us this new format so that like, you could like keep that same level of hype going into part 2, but then you release the part 2 characters and they're just not as good. Why? Like, why would you do that? Then we just like things go back to normal a little bit. We get like our next Dokkan Fest, whatever, after Worldwide. And then we go into Heroes, right? In like November, whenever that was, October, November. I guess it was that like right after Worldwide. Was that the first thing after Worldwide? There might have been like one other, but regardless, we go into Heroes and it's like, okay, here's the Heroes units. Again, we get like the details for the full power Super Saiyan 4s, and it's like, why? Like, what is going on with these guys? Like, they kind of blow. People are coping for them, of course. It's like, oh, it's a little bit bigger Super Saiyan 4s are so cool. People have a tendency to like look at units they like and like heavily cope over them. I won't say I'm immune to that, but I, definitely am able to separate myself a little bit, I think. A little bit, like I'm of course higher than on Ginyu than most, but I also feel like I use Ginyu more than most just because I'm willing to give him a chance. And I think because of that, like probably I am higher on him. And anyway, but it's not like I'm out here saying like, oh, Ginyu's still the number 1 TUR. It's just like, okay, yeah, like I get it. His team's fallen off a little bit, but it's still like really good. Like obviously, his team was able to no item all the red zone stages like 6 months ago. Guess what? All the same stages are they as they were 6 months ago. It's just that now you have that Sin fight, which again exposes some of the characters that are weaker, which really hits the Ginyu Force team hard because there are a few units that are just like weaker, or you have like Jason Birder who are like dodge or you die in that event. So like, that's kind of the issues that you run into there. So anyway, we had heroes. That was really weird. We had the Beast Gohan fumble, which was like awful. Like I get it. They had like a quick turnaround time to make that unit. But it's like, come on, guys. Like, please, like, come on. Like, we got Orange Piccolo in there. We got like, extra Orange Piccolo animations in. Again, his is kind of rushed a little bit too. That transformation is not the best. But it's like, guys, come on. Like, please. We could have we could have taken our time a little bit, released like an actual playable Beast Gohan, because now Dokkan is like the laughing stock of Dragon Ball games other than, Breakers, but just because we don't have a playable Beast Gohan, like even Fortnite has Beast Gohan now, right? Like guys, come on, please. Anyway, so there was that, and then we move in the 8th anniversary. And the 8th anniversary, I don't want to say it was bad, but it was definitely like interesting. Some of the content, like the way that they did things, maybe from a global perspective, like just seemed off. And again, like no step up in content. Like we got Sin at the very end, we got Sin, but up until then, it was like pretty stale. It was like, okay, why are we playing? And then they gave us that LR Bobbity with like the Majin Vegeta animation. It's like, why? Like, just give us the Majin Vegeta. Who cares about this stupid like Bobbity LR that nobody's ever going to use? Like, everyone was like really hyped, like, oh, a new Majin Vegeta card. No, it's actually LR Bobbity, and LR Bobbity sucks. Like, and also the LR Majin Vegeta portion, you only get to see if you are intentionally playing wrong, basically. It's like, what? Like, they're trying to give us, like, sell us, it's a free-to-play unit, so they can't really sell it, but, they're trying to sell us LR Majin Vegeta, and it's not. It's LR shitty Bobbity. Like, get that out of here, okay? Huge waste of animations. Definitely, they could use those again in, like, another card, for sure, but, like, come on. Like, that was not the time to do that. That's basically on the same level as releasing, like, that Grade 8 Vegeta and Kaioken Goku, which, again, baffling decision. We're talking about those. It goes all the way back to there, where they didn't release them as Dokkan Fest. They released them as Shattering the Limit Part 2 Yellow Coin LR banner units. Like, what were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking? Releasing those units like that. It's like, we look at Yamcha's celebration and they Easy Aid Bojack, and people are like, well, who else would they have Easy Aid in the Yamcha celebration? It's like, I don't know, Vegeta and Nappa, who needed Easy Aid on day one, the AGL LR. Like, they sucked on day one. I don't want to hear any coping. I don't want people saying, actually, they were okay. No, that unit sucked on day one. That unit had flat number passives as a summonable LR. I'm pretty sure they were shattering the limit to, like, what were they thinking with that unit? That unit sucks so much. They should have Easy Aid that unit with Yamcha, and that would have been better. And they also could have pushed up the Prime Battle Krillin Easy Aid, and that would have made a lot more sense, right? But they didn't. They did Bojack out of nowhere, who still, like, doesn't really have a team. Maybe you can use him on Turles' team, probably, I guess. But he needs another Bojack, and we don't have that right now because STR Bojack has an Easy Aid, so, and he's really not probably going to Easy Aid soon. So we probably need another full power Bojack, which, maybe we get sometime this year, and we get, like, AGL Bojack's Easy Aid, kind of like what they're doing with Turles, right? Or they Easy Aid the Great Ape Turles. Like, they're at least trying to give Turles some help, I guess. Yeah, I don't know that it's enough. It's just, like, weird decisions right? So, anyway, I did a poll here. I had to kind of stretch out my own thoughts a little bit because we didn't have much interaction here. But saying, right, like, I guess 8, or what is this? This is basically like 6 out of the 8 people said that Dokkan can't be better. Like, it's doing the best that it can right now, and it's great. I don't know if that's a joke or if people actually think that, but I don't know. Like, I think there's definitely improvements Dokkan can make. Like, they tried to do a friend system update. I think this was JP only. I don't think it's hit global yet. But they did this friend system update where they try to give us, like, copy leaders, but, like, not really. Like, they just kind of, like, here's some, like, leaders, and they just kind of, like, threw them out there, and I think they're, like, level 1 links 0% or 55%, something like that, like, really horrible. That doesn't help us, like, at all. I don't know why they can't just give us mirror leads, or, at the very least, like, I don't know, 55% level 5 links, level 10 links, 100% level 5 links like they do for some Super Battle Road stages. Like, why can't we just have that instead of like the random trash garbage that you just gave us? Like, I don't really get that. Um, like, I think that's an improvement. I think they just need to think about cohesion more whenever they're doing these celebrations. Again, we can't see the plan, so as like players, we just look at it as like, oh, Kale released and got no help. Why would I summon? Like I don't want Frost. From like a business standpoint, I would get it's like, okay, Turles released, but like you can run his team only if you get like the two other banner units, which it's like, well, I'm kind of saving for Tanabata right now, so why would I summon? Uh, Super 17 released with no help. So again, why would I summon whenever, like that was like right before Saiyan Day, right? So it's like, oh, I kind of want to save for Saiyan. It's like they keep releasing these units with the intention to make money, but there's no incentive to summon and spend your money because they're releasing these units into like dead situations like Super Boo. Why did they release Super Boo when they did? He has no, like, he doesn't even have a 200%. What's the point? What's the point? Like, that is something they need to improve upon is like, they can see their schedule. They know, oh, we're releasing Vegito and Super Boo and the Goku, like I said, the Goku Sun Family Red Zone for worldwide. So, like, all these units are just going to be wrapped together there, and it's going to be perfect. Like, put in a bow. The double Vegito celebration, we're going to get, like, the Rose EZAs, and they're going to be great partners for Merge Zamasu, and we're going to get a new Merge Zamasu, and we're going to fix the name for the old Merge Zamasus that are, like, Bukaki form, They can see all that. They know what the plan is. We don't. Okay, so we're going into this and we're like, okay, we're trying to make like smart decisions with our stones and money. We're like, okay, I really want to summon where it counts. I really want to get units that are going to be on teams that are getting buffed up later in the year. Okay, so I'm going to summon on God Goku because I know that Pure Saiyans is like always going to be good, and we're going to get Pure Saiyans like in every major celebration. So I'm going to spend my money on him. Plus, he has a good setup right now. He's a good character. Things like that, right? So you just go, okay, boom, God Goku, easy pick. Then they put Turles in front of you. You go, I don't know. Like they're trying, they're showing you like, hey, look, we gave him some stuff. And it's like, did you? Like, I don't know, maybe you gave him the best banner unit. Maybe you gave him the Ginyu treatment a little bit. But then I know a lot of people were turned off for summoning for Ginyu because, like, well, you can summon for Ginyu. Ginyu's really good. But if you don't get the other two banner units, you're never going to be able to use them. And I think it's the same thing with Turles. It's like, okay, yeah, you can summon for him. If you don't get his two banner units, though, you'll never use them. If you're not up against a Goku family, his team won't link well together. And, like, still, they don't really link well together. They don't share key. But, at least if you're up against a Goku family enemy, if you're running double Turles, you have 6 key support up the entire time. Yeah, that's really good. There's no Goku family enemies, though. Maybe there will be. Maybe there won't. We don't know. Like, Dokkan is, like, saying, like, maybe. It's like everything's a gamble now. It's like, it's always been, like, a game of chance, kind of like, But, at least before in the past, it always felt like you could like summon for a character, and if you got them, it felt like your account always took a step up in power. Like, and pretty much no matter what. Like, for years in Dokkan, it's like, okay, boom, STR Kefla came out. It felt like, all right, we got STR Kefla, we have a good team, right? Like, we got STR Cooler, we have a good team. We have Tech Ultimate Go On, we have a good team. A lot of the times in the past, it's always felt like that. And here recently, it's kind of like, well, you don't really need to summon for the Resurrection F Blues. There's nowhere to run them. You don't really need to summon for Pan. There's nowhere to run her. You don't really need to summon for Turles. If you don't get the X other units, he's not very good. It's just like there's very few units that you actually need to summon for. Like, I don't get it. It's like just release units together and have them work together to where it's like, okay, if you got all of them, they're great. I just don't get it. Anyway, let's see what other people are saying. This is Jake. Kraber here says, the game tends to favor superclass units over extreme class. I mean, definitely, right? I mean, you just go to your box and you sort by super and extreme. You'll see that there's just way more super. And just that in general, superclass units are like not really fumbled like extreme class units. It's like, to me, they don't realize how on an island extreme class units are. It's not like you can run them all together. Like, you can run all these Saiyans together and it's fine. Like, you literally just put Saiyans on a team and they're going to work. That goes for like Broly and Majin Vegeta units as well, for the most part, too. They're not really. They are extreme class, but they're more like super class units in that they're Saiyans, right? And it makes sense why they favor super class units. It's because they're the moneymakers, right? Like, God Goku is just in 100 situations out of 101 is going to make more money than Super 17 ever will, like, in his lifespan, right? So, like, there's a reason why they favor those units. It's like they really want to make their money on those units. So, like, I get that. Okay, there is a noticeable discrepancy in the treatment of these two, particularly during celebratory events. The buffs granted the superclass far outweigh those given to extreme class. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at God Goku, right? God Goku got that Tech Vegeta support, who is like insane. You can feel when his support is up, and he just helps that guy out so much, and it's just really good on his team. It's a great addition, and they go well together on multiple teams, and it's just fantastic. He doesn't even need him, but they gave it to him, and he's great. Um, and then you have like the new Bulma, right? Like the new Bulma. Uh, like, do we even need to talk about her? They drop 3 free to play units that work insane with her and on her team, and with like units on her team. Like that Tech Bulma, the STR Yamcha. Like STR Yamcha is just made to be run next to her, and they just work so well together. Like, what? And then they drop Super 17. They're like, here's Zero and Mew. That's it. Bye. What? Oh, by the way, Zero and Mew suck unless they're up against a Goku enemy. Oh, by the way, there's no Goku enemies. Have submissions for the Legendary Goku event so you could go see what they would look like if there was a tough Goku family boss. Huh? What? Huh? So anyway, it becomes evident that Dokkan Battle development team need to address the issues and strive for better balance and celebration buffs. I absolutely agree. Ensuring both classes receive equal opportunities to shine and enjoy. It's not even... I'm actually going to say they need to ensure that Extreme Class receive more opportunities to shine, because there are less. Like, listen, you can release 100 Super Saiyan Gokus because there are 100 Super Saiyan Gokus. There's like 2 Turleses. There's like the Heroes Turles, who's got like the crazy hair, who like infects Vegeta with like the Berserk power or whatever. And then you have like normal movie Turles that's an hour long. That's it. Okay. So like you got like one of those 2 Turleses, and somehow old Dokkan was able to make like 10 units out of it. But like new Dokkan, it's like hey guys, okay, we want to release a new Turles. Well, it's going to have to take like 3 years before we release another one, because we just burned our load on this one. We don't want to release one back to back. Like Legends doesn't have that problem. Legends is like, let's just release 8 Jirens in a row. Like, why not? We can just copy and paste all their animations, give them a different kit, give them a different color, give them like, make this one an extreme, make this one's a free to play, this one's sparking, this one's an ultra. So like, ooh, maybe this one has like a slightly different move, maybe this one has like a slightly different outfit. They can do that, and they just effectively releasing the exact same unit but like different kit with like but like the skeleton, like the animations, the sprite, all that stuff is like the exact same. Like Legends can do that. Dokkan can't really do that just because of the way the game is like using animations like from the game. They can come up with their own for sure, and they can take like fights. They could take like anything to make their own animations, but that takes more time, right? And like a lot more dev time. And are they going to be willing to put that much effort into like a Turles unit, into a Super 17 unit, a unit that they know is not going to make money? So it's like they need to be very cognizant about the decisions that they're making with these extreme class units, because it's the only one that they're going to do for a long time. We don't know when they're going to do another LR STR cooler type unit, like another LR cooler. There's still like a few animations they could use, right? Or like they could redo the TUR STR cooler, right? But and they could like probably take some animations from Heroes or something too. But it's just like we don't know. Like it's probably going to be a long time before they get another one. So it's not even that like that they need to be equal. Super extreme class units need to be treated better. Like always, if they're releasing an extreme class unit, they can't release like a Salsa. Okay, whenever they're like, oh look guys, we did a sub EZA for Salsa and he sucks ass immediately on day 1. Like now that unit is just dead. When do you guys think we're going to get another Salsa? Like 2055? Do you think we're going to make it to another Salsa? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. But so anyway, opportunity to shine. Yeah, the game to its fullest potential. I mean, I agree with everything here. Jake's got a lot of interesting takes. So this is definitely a good one. So I appreciate this. Thank you for commenting. I'll give you that heart. Love you. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it like I said, it's not even that they need equal opportunities. Extreme class needs more. Like extreme class needs like reparations. Like give every extreme class unit like backdate them and give them 3 key 50% attack and defense support. Like please, because they need it. OG Asian God, new supporter on the channel, seeing him comment a lot recently. Thanks for commenting. Something needs to change, bro. For example, the friend system. Yeah, what they did is good. but it could be improved further, definitely. Also giving all new units of any type defense on super, whether the super attack effect or just, yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, everybody needs multiple fate. Like, the way they have. I actually just found this out recently. So, the way defense kind of works in Dokkan, I always assumed that if a separate event was happening, it's basically a multiplicative buff, but that's not always true. It's like, for instance, I thought that, like, in a character's passive, like if they have to do supers to build up and get hit to build up, that's actually additive with each other and not multiplicative. So, like, let's just say, for instance, a character has 100% at the start of turn, and then they get 100% from doing a super attack, and then they get 100% from getting in a hit. I thought that it would be 100% times 100% times 100%, right? Like multiplicative 3 times. It's actually not. That start of turn is multiplicative with the other two together. So that, like, on hit and on super attack are going to be added together for 200%. So it's actually going to be 100% times 200% for the like how multiplicative buffs work in the passive. Like those phases are actually like all lumped together. So like a lot of units that I thought, like, so it's like, oh, well, why don't they just give these characters, like, every unit in the game needs to be hit now. Well, why don't they just make it to where it's like, okay, they can make a character that gets built up from getting hit and getting dodge, and it'll build up a lot more defense that way. Why don't they do that? And it's like, well, they could, and that definitely would be good too. That'd be actually be really good if they did a character that did that, but it wouldn't be multiplicative in the way that I thought it would, so it wouldn't be as powerful as I thought it would be. So like there's only a few ways that characters can get defense, and it's basically like active skill, which is usually not permanent, right? That's a temporary buff. So let's just kind of ignore active skill. You've got like start of turn, right? Which is going to be like your basic supports, like anybody that just says like all allies key +3 attack and defense 50% or something like that. And it's not like, on super, on hit, like things like that. That's just going to also be start of turn. Usually orb collection is start of turn unless it says like on super attack or something like that. So, that's all going to be start of turn. Trying to think of other things, like as the first attacker in the turn is usually that usually locks in once the turn locks in, and that's usually start of turn. It's like Vegeta and Trunks, their buff that they get for being in slot 1, like that extra 70% attack and defense that they get is that's additive. Okay, and then you got like your multiplicative buffs. That's going to be anything like taking hits, dodging, super attacking. Trying to think of anything else. Like when guard is activated. Just things like that, right? I can't think of any more offhand, but like those 4 that I listed, those are all going to be multiplicative with the start of turn buff, but are going to be additive with each other. So it's like, even though it looks like it should be different, those are all going to be included together. And then you have like the super attack effect on their actual super attack. That's also multiplicative with like anything else. So like, so it's like we only really have a few phases where we're actually like seeing like there's only so many places that they can give like characters like increased defense, and I think that maybe just is an issue with the game at the moment. Like if there was a way for them to like code in intro buffs as being multiplicative or something, maybe that'd be too strong, but it would give them a new avenue to increase characters' defense just a little bit. So. But yeah, I know. I definitely agree. There's some units that you can really feel it, like Kid Goku. Kid Goku would be insane if he had like 30% defense on super attack. Like, I don't know. I feel like you see Kid Goku somewhere around like the 575 range, right? With like, I don't know, 30% damage reduction or whatever he has, like 575 to like 650, somewhere in there, right? For Kid Goku. If he got 30% on super attack, let's say he did double super, you just multiply that by 1.6, he'd be at 1,000,000 defense like every turn. Like nothing would be able to hurt him. Which would be, like, that'd be really good, right? I mean, that's basically what Turles is at, fully built up, and I give Turles a lot of crap. And it's just because Turles, like, my issue with Turles isn't that he's, like, bad. I think Turles is actually, like, really solid for, like, if he was, like, a superclass unit, I would think Turles was, like, fine. Like I said, I think he's kind of in that, like, Yamcha, Bardock. I think he's better than Bardock, but I think he's kind of in that, like, Yamcha tier of units that I don't really like. Just because I don't think they have enough survivability against super attacks. But it's like he needed to be like the best TUR in the game by far because he is a villain. Like I said previously in the other comment, it's like we can't just release these villains on par with like old superclass units. We need to be releasing villains like miles above any other unit just because it's like they're not going to get another one for the long time. Their teams aren't going to get buffs. And it's like by the time most people even have a chance to pull them, they're going to be aged out. It's like if you don't get these units on release and get them rainbowed on release, by the time you get them, they're gone. Like that's it. You know, like Pan. This is Pan's first return on global. She's done. Like she was actually done on release, but she's like unrunnable. I mean, she wasn't really good on, like I said, she wasn't really good on release. But now it's like Pan. This is her first return. Should you summon for Pan? No, Pan is worthless. You will not use Pan. Like, I mean, if you're using Pan, it's because you want to use Pan. But you guys get what I mean, right? I mean, so that's like a real issue. It's like it's not enough. It's not enough that extreme class units are on par with other units. These extreme class units that need to come out need to be like, oh my goodness, this unit is the best in the game by far, and it's not close. Like that's how they like Piccolo Jr. Piccolo Jr. is a great example. That dude is insane. Turles is on his team. Turles is actually a buff for him. I think they're actually going to work well together. I'm excited. In 5 months, whenever he comes to global, I'm going to get to like run that rotation. But I'm excited to get to see like other people showcase that and like kind of show like Turles on Piccolo Jr.'s team, because I do think he's actually really going to help him. So it's like they're doing well. We really could have used Lord Slug, but I don't know. Yeah, but like Piccolo Jr., like you can feel it. You put him on the team, and he like wills a team to life. You guys should be able to see it. Like you can go back and watch my Red Zone World Tours for Piccolo Jr., and he felt different, guys. I cannot describe it to you. So anyway, that's all the comments we have here. So these guys are kind of, I think they're like the 2 no votes, which is good. I would have voted no if I could vote in my own polls, but I can't. If you're seeing this late, be sure to vote in the poll. I'll keep up and I'll comment and I'll give thoughts. Like if you see this video and you decide to vote in the poll after and you leave a comment in here, I'll respond to it for sure. Or I'll at least like it if I just like agree and I don't really have any further thoughts to give. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. This was probably like really rambly. I probably I probably didn't have any sort of like central thought other than it's 1:30 a.m. Well, it's actually 2 minutes from the banner now, so I'll probably put this up. I'll probably title this like "Should You Summon in Discussion" or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Sorry I haven't posted in a few days. Again, it's just it's been a long. I needed a weekend, right, to kind of decompress. So. I hope you enjoyed the link leveling footage on the left there. Thank you guys for watching. If you stuck around to the end of the video, I really appreciate you. You're nuts, but I appreciate it. I got nothing else to say. We've drugged this on too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't summon for 17. I'm going to do like the global exclusive ticket. I'll do like a short on it. Hopefully I pull them on that. Listen, please. Listen, Akatsuki, please. Please don't make me summon for Super 17. Listen, if I get like 300 stones in and I haven't pulled Super 17, listen, we may be doing Pan showcases. We'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to be on the lookout for hopefully Super 17 videos. If not, be on the lookout for Pan videos. Gonna be doing Pan either way, but you may see Pan first. Again, thank you guys. Catch you guys next time.